Week 16 is upon us. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the Swank Tank. We are fired up. It is Thursday morning, December 18th. Welcome back into the show. Man, we have everything and anything Week 16 coming your way. We're breaking down every single game from Week 16. In-depth analysis. I'm going to give you my final winners. Who's going to win? Who's going to be taking the L? Along with that, fantasy performers to look out for, DFS picks to look out for, Swank's Banks, your bets to look out for, fantasy, all of this and more on this episode of the Swank Tank, episode 29. Good morning if you're listening on Thursday morning. Good afternoon if you're listening on Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, Saturday, whenever it is. Thank you very much for being here. I'm your host, Ryan Swankowski. We have just a phenomenal episode lined up for you with so much on the line. Huge games with huge playoff implications. Saturday football games. Even during the college football playoff, there's Saturday football games. And not only are there Saturday NFL games, those games are super meaningful. Bears and Packers, the rematch from 2 weeks ago, potentially deciding the NFC North. The Eagles trying to clinch the division. Then you move into Sunday. You got big Sunday night football game, Ravens and Patriots. You got the Jags and the Broncos going at it. We have so much to break down. Steelers, Lions. There's so many good games, so many important games to discuss. Welcome into the show. Thank you very much for being here. If you are not already following on all the socials at the Swank Tank, make sure and go do so. Make sure and go do so. A lot of content being pushed out throughout the season, especially when we get into playoff time. You very much want to be tapped in and tuned in on all accounts come playoff time, and especially the offseason as well. Big offseason ahead. This is your one-stop shop, NFL only, 24/7, 365. That's all we talk. We're not expanding the boundaries to college football. We're not talking NBA. No. If you love the NFL, you're in the right place. Make sure to follow on all the socials at the Swank Tank. All right. Enough of an intro, enough of me yapping up here. Yes, I got a fresh cut. Yes, give it 5 days to let it settle in. If you're not watching, you're just listening, new haircut. You get it. Let's dive straight into the first game of the slate for the Week 16 slate. Man, it might be the best game of the season. They played, about a month ago, and it was up there for the most competitive game of the season. Back and forth, turnover city, long field goal to end the game that got missed, whatever it was. It is indeed the 11-3 Rams traveling to take on the 11-3 Seahawks, potentially for the NFC West. What a Week 16 we've got lined up. Let's dive into it. Let's go. I have to quickly state the record update, though, as I always do. In Week 15, we went 9-7 on straight-up winners. Not our best week. Still above 500, not our best week, but we moved to 145 and 78 on the year. We're close to 2/3 of the way there. We were really close 2 weeks ago. We're trying to end the season 2/3 correct on just straight up winners. Let's see if we get there this week. We just may, or at least get really, really close to it. We just may. Drake may. All right, the Rams at the Seahawks, both these teams 11-3, very much fighting for the number one seed, not only in the NFC West, in the NFC altogether. To start this off, the Rams are dealing with a few issues. Their plane had a maintenance issue on Wednesday night, so they were scrambling to get to Seattle now. It's the night before the game, and that's just a little wrench thrown in their plans. So the plane has a maintenance issue. They're delayed several hours, affecting their plans to Seattle. Alongside that, we have to discuss this just briefly. Puka Nacua on a live stream stating that the refs sometimes make calls in the NFL just to get some screen time. What do I make of this? Swank, what do you make of this? I make nothing of this. Is he lying? Not really. Not all refs do that. I would say most refs don't do that. But some probably do. Does he need to go on a live stream in the, towards the back end of the season when you're the number one seed and be saying things like that? Definitely not. I'm not advising that. I'm not supporting that. I'm just saying I think it's getting a little bit blown out of proportion to what its effect actually is. What is its effect? Well, we won't know until tonight, till Thursday Night Football. If that even correlates, his gameplay with what he said a few days ago on the live stream. It really doesn't. in my opinion, it's a no factor. Should he be saying that stuff? No. Especially during the season? No. Is it as big of a deal as people are making it to be? No. We move on. The playing issue, much bigger deal. Gets you a little bit out of rhythm, a little bit out of sync, doesn't go your way from the night before. Could very much affect things going your way the next day in terms of production, in terms of schedule, right? Let's get into the actual game instead of plans being delayed and Puka Nacua going on live streams. Seahawks are favored in their own building, -1.5 here. It should be rainy. Not like torrential downpour rain, but it should be a little wet out there. And that could play a factor here. Seattle is 4-7 in their last 11 against the LA Rams. Have not had a lot of success in recent history against the Rams. Rams have not necessarily had their number, but been pretty close. Seahawks, defensively, given up the third least rushing yards in the NFL. The Rams have given up the least rushing touchdowns in the NFL. Both these run defenses are very good. If they're not top 5, they're definitely top 10. Seattle's is top 5. The Rams is probably more like top 10. But the Rams rushing defense doesn't let any running back find the end zone at all this year. Both these rushing defenses are really good. That's the first thing to know. Seattle's secondary, let's touch on them, has been a bit better than the Rams this year. They're relatively even, but Seattle's secondary has been a bit better overall. Devontae Adams, listed as doubtful. He's not going to play in this game. Tweaked the hamstring last week. He's not going to play here. That's obviously a huge blow. On the other side, for Seattle, DeMarcus Lawrence may not play here. If I had to guess, I think he will. I think he'll play. But two major injury notes to keep in mind there. Adams obviously being the biggest one. Touchdown machine, leads the NFL for wide receivers in touchdowns by a wide margin. Is Stafford's favorite red zone target. It's a huge deal that he won't be here in this game. Something to very much factor in to this prediction. Here's the big thing. Turnovers. Turnovers is my focal point here in this game. Will be huge. Rams have a +9 turnover differential on the season. I believe it's top 6 or 7 in the NFL. Seattle has a -1 turnover differential. So the Rams take care of the ball. They create a lot of turnovers. On the flip side, Seattle forces a lot of turnovers, turns the ball over a lot. Sam Darnold, in specific games, especially. Who's going to win the turnover battle is probably who's going to win this game. In a game with two great rushing defenses, two great teams, two really solid offenses, the best offense in the NFL versus basically the best defense in the NFL, one of them, a game like this should be determined by turnovers. That's my take on this. And Chris Shula, when they played just a month ago, the Rams defensive coordinator and his company, his defensive unit, forced 4 interceptions from Sam Darnold in that one game alone. You could say, okay, they've had the tape, they've had a month, and, McDonald tries to make some adjustments. Very fair. That's very fair. Do I trust Sam Darnold in this spot, in potentially the rain? The answer is no. The answer is no. I'm taking the Rams to win this game, and I understand that Darnold has now had time to prep, right? He can look back on a month ago and see, what did I do wrong? What reads did I miss? What throws did I miss, right? Completely understandable. And I think McDonald knows that too. I think he gives Darnold a little bit of an easier approach to this game. Tight end, Barner. Okay, let's swing out Charbonnet, a little dump pass. Easier, quicker passes to not let Darnold get super flustered. With that still being said, Darnold, in my opinion, will make one too many mistakes in this game, just like he did a month ago. And I think the Rams are going to do it. I'm taking the better team all around. All around, I think the Rams are the better team, even with Devontae Adams down, which very much hinders them. I'm taking Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams. That run game has been lethal. Parkinson's going to be involved for sure here. The tight end for the Rams, he will be heavily involved in this game plan. I'm taking the Rams to do it. It's going to be a damn good game. It's going to be close. It's going to be grimy. I'm taking Stafford and the Rams to go in there and not seal up the NFC West quite yet, but get damn close to it. Give me LA to get the win and sweep the Seattle Seahawks on the season. Next up, we got the 9-5 Eagles on Saturday, traveling to take on the 4-10 Commanders. The Eagles last week, as I predicted, expected, I told you Saquon Barkley was a DFS lock. I told you Eagles defense was a DFS lock. Both of those were fantastic locks. They blew out the Raiders. I believe it was 31-0. The Raiders had 7 first downs against the Eagles last week. They had, 75 total yards. Total yards in a football game, in a professional football game in 2025. That's how dominant the Eagles defense was. That's how poor the Las Vegas Raiders were last week, who go into Houston this week. That's later on in the show. Disaster class for the Raiders. Eagles, I'm predicting another blowout. I am predicting another blowout, even with their injuries. Lane Johnson's hurt. Jalen Carter's still hurt. I believe Dickerson's still hurt. They may not play. Even with those, the Eagles, I'm not saying they're going to come out there and be perfect. By no means am I saying that. But the Raiders lining up on their schedule like they did last week was absolutely perfect for them. A diamond in the rough type of game for them. They needed a bounce back in a major way. That's what last week was. And that's what I think this game continues to be for the Philadelphia Eagles. Avoid the noise, avoid the smoke, if there even is any. It's going to be Eagles. Commanders defense, bottom 5 in passing yards given up, passing touchdowns given up, and rushing yards given up this season. I will repeat that for you. The Commanders defense is bottom 5 in passing yards given up, passing touchdowns given up, and rushing yards given up this season, across the season. Last time I checked, in football, that's pretty bad for a defense and their stats on the season. It can't get much worse for the Commanders defense. It's horrible. It's one of the worst in the NFL, if not the worst. It's awful. Them and Cincinnati are having a complete trash shoot of a comparison between their defenses. It's horrid. It really is. Eagles have a chance here to clinch the division with the Cowboys' loss. We'll talk about the Cowboys here in a little bit. Even with the injuries, I'm taking Philly. Commanders' defense is too weak. There's no Jaden Daniels. It's going to be Mariota, however you pronounce it, apparently. Give me the Eagles here big. Give me them big. I like them to cover easily. Saturday football, I don't know exactly how many people will be watching this game, given you got college football playoffs on. I will be watching this game, and I'm excited to watch the Philadelphia Eagles potentially clinch the division. I'm taking the Eagles big. We move forward. One of the best games of the weekend. The 9-4-1 Green Bay Packers traveling to take on the 10-4 Chicago Bears. Obviously, huge game here. That cannot be understated. Let's talk about after this, what they have real quick. The Bears after this game have the 49ers and the Lions. Probably one of the hardest ways to close out a season of any team this year. Green Bay has the Ravens. You all know my opinion on the Ravens. And the Vikings. Much easier, all things considered. Let's touch back on just keep that in mind, right? So why did I bring that up? This is a must-win for the Bears. It's a must-win. Let's keep going. No Parsons here. Out for the season. I believe it was the torn ACL. Out for the year. Horrible to see. Speedy recovery to Micah. He's a game changer. He's a league changer. One of the best defensive players in the NFL. Speedy recovery to Micah. It's a major blow. And some people might think, okay, it's a rallying cry. They're gonna rally around the injury. You know, Green Bay's defense overall has been pretty good this year. We're gonna step up because our leader is out. I'm not feeling that way in this game, as much as maybe others will be or would. The Bears, I think, are going to have a little bit of success. Let's keep going. The Packers are also not going to have Christian Watson in this game, most likely. He may play. If he plays, he's going to be very limited. But you tell me no Parsons, no Watson. You're telling me Jordan Love's favorite target's out and their best defensive player's out. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Let's get into some more notes here. These are the big notes. I laid out 3 major notes for you to follow this game path. Number 1, Packers run defense is top 8 this year. I know Parsons is out, but given what we've seen, top 8 this year. The Bears are averaging over 150 rush yards per game. That is second in the NFL behind Buffalo. One of those has to give. Note number 2. The Bears have a plus 20 turnover differential on the season. That is first in the NFL. The Packers have a plus 3. Still pretty good for Green Bay. A positive turnover differential is always a good thing. But when the Bears have a plus 20, you have a plus 3. A little less room for error in the turnover department. Note number 3. The Bears have given up the 5th most passing touchdowns in the NFL. 2 weeks ago, that was evident. Jordan Love sliced him and diced him. And the blitz was brought by Dennis Allen and company, and that blitz failed dramatically. LaFleur was ready. LaFleur shook the hand of Ben Johnson. LaFleur ran away and said, it's not over, but I already got a little bit of mini revenge. He's looking now for the whole season sweep to get total revenge on Ben Johnson in the offseason, saying, I loved beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. We'll see if you can do that in this game. Here's my winner. I think the Bears have learned. And I'm going to take the Bears to get the win. Their secondary is still definitely a weakness. Their running game is going up against a strong defensive unit with Green Bay. But there's no Micah. Huge deal. On the flip side, that defensive secondary has been rough for the Bears this year. Christian Watson, I believe 2 weeks ago, had 2 touchdowns against them. He's probably not going to play. I understand Reed's back. I get all that. You take away their best offensive weapon in the air. Obviously, Jacobs is still their best weapon. Offensive weapon in the air. You take away their best defensive weapon. I think the Bears are going to do it. Give me Chicago in their own building to cause an extra turnover or 2 and get a win. Get the win. Potentially seal the NFC North here in their own building. It's all on the line. I'm taking the Chicago Bears, given the way their defense can create those turnovers, given the injuries for the Packers. I don't think the Packers are going to sweep them. I'm taking Chicago to get the win on Saturday to potentially seal off or get damn close to it, sealing off the NFC North. There we go. We roll forward. The 10-4 Buffalo Bills traveling to take on the 3-11 Cleveland Browns. Bills, 3 of their 4 losses have been on the road. They are now on the road. Something to note. Browns' run defense has really fallen apart over the past 2 weeks. It was really solid to start the year. Myles Garrett is going to break the sack record. That is going to happen. He's leading, I think, the next closest sack leader by like 8 sacks, Brian Burns. He's got like 21 and a half sacks, Garrett does. Something crazy. But that running defense has really struggled over the past 2 weeks. It was really strong earlier in the year. It's continued to struggle. 2 weeks. Over the past 2 weeks, the Cleveland Browns have given up 326 rushing yards. That's total, of course. Pollard ran all over them, got whatever he wanted. Bears essentially got whatever they wanted with Swift. Monongai was kind of shut down a little bit, but Swift had some success on the ground. The Browns run defense. The Browns are rolling over people. Everybody besides Myles Garrett is rolling over on the Cleveland Browns. Shadur Sanders looked like absolute crap last week. And that's not all due to him. The offensive line isn't great. They don't have really any weapons outside of Judkins. I get it. But the team is rolled over. They're dead in the water. This is a momentum game for Buffalo. Because last week, you saw in the first half, they were dead in the water through the first half last week against New England. Switch was flipped. Josh Allen, Superman mode, re-engaged. They get the win. Some people may be thinking, okay, after that heroic comeback, a lot of energy taken out on the road, which is where the Bills have really struggled this year, all things considered, the Bills are going to drop this game. No. I think this is where they escalate a little bit more. And I'm worried about the Bills long term this season. I don't really believe in them still, defensively especially. But this is a game where the Bills keep stacking the chips, where the momentum keeps growing for Buffalo. Given how bad the Browns' run defense has been the past 2 weeks, James Cook's in for a lot of volume. Josh Allen can run all over them. I think it's an all-around team effort for Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins this game. On the flip side, it's a good matchup for Judkins. Look, on paper. The problem is, I think, the Browns are going to be down in big and down early. So if they're down a lot, that means they're going to be throwing the ball much more. Judkins is not going to be running the ball that much. On paper, it is a very good matchup. Bills' rushing defense has been very poor this year. But again, I expect the Browns to be down a lot and be down early. So that being said, give me Buffalo to keep stacking the chips. Team effort, team win for Buffalo. Relatively clean game all around. Not worried about this one. Give me the Bills to keep their foot on the gas in the AFC East race, basically. And just overall in the AFC playoff push, I'm taking the Bills. Now we move in to the Lone Star State, the Dallas Cowboys, the less than 1% chance to make the playoffs Dallas Cowboys, hosting the 10-4 Chargers, who have been pretty damn hot as of late. Cowboys are favored here. The Cowboys are favored in this game. They're minus 1.5. Something to note. Let's talk about, we're going to jump straight into this. Chargers secondary. Because I don't feel like a lot of people know this. If you're listening out there and you know this, you know your ball. That's probably why you're here at the Swank Tank. You know your ball. The Chargers secondary has been elite this season. One of the best units in the NFL. And you may not see it that way. And they don't have those big names outside of Derwin James. You'd be like, oh yeah, he's a top CB. He's the top guy, right? Outside of Derwin James. They don't really have that. But they've been damn good. Dante Jackson's been damn good for them. Is a top 5 secondary in the NFL. On the flip side, the Cowboys defense is the exact opposite. As we all know, they are dead last in yards and touchdowns. That's secondary. Dead last. They've given up the most passing yards and the most passing touchdowns in the NFL. That one I think a lot of people knew. I think a lot of people knew that one. This is a great spot for Herbert. This is a great spot for McConkey, etc. Great spot for Johnson. Great start for maybe Gadsden to get back in the mix a little bit more. Remember his legacy run just about a month ago? A 3-game stretch where he went absolutely ballistic. This is the game for the Chargers offensively to get some momentum back in them. Their defense has been stout the past few weeks against the Eagles, causing all sorts of turnovers and getting that game-sealing interception against Jalen Hurts. Last week against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, speedy recovery to Mahomes. Sorry to see that injury, terrible. But for a majority of the game, Mahomes and the Chiefs completely shut them down. Completely shut them down. This Chargers defense has been bailing out the offense, and part of that is due to Herbert's injury. That left hand injury doesn't fully look comfortable. He may still not look fully comfortable in this game. Obviously, it's just an unbelievable matchup and an unbelievable spot for the LA Chargers to get some offensive momentum in a time of need. They've got Houston next week. They're not looking at them quite yet. They're looking at this game saying, this is where we need to build some damn confidence in our offense, even with their Herbert injury, right? He's going to be playing the rest of the year. So this is not some excuse you can be making. Oh, he's injured. Give him a break. He's the guy you're rolling out there, right? I would like to see him play really well in this spot, and I think he does. Even with the injury, I think he does. And overall, it seems like a spot the Chargers may drop the game. They're, quote, underdogs in this spot. Maybe they'll fold and crumble. Defense may be out of gas. I'm taking the Chargers to get the, quote, again, air quote, upset off the back of Herbert here to knock Dallas out of the playoffs for good, keep their foot on the gas after beating both the Eagles and the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks. That's what I'm taking here. Give me Herbert to play damn well. McConkey for me is a DFS lock. You may be thinking, why? His volume the past 5 weeks has been terrible. I don't know if he's gotten more than 7 targets in a game in the past month. Herbert injury has been a little bit to do with that. Just offensive inconsistencies a little bit to do with that. Maybe prioritizing the run as well. Primetime spot for Ladd. In Dallas, it just makes too much sense to me. And not a lot of people are going to be on Ladd, given his recent recent poor fantasy outings, I'll say. Great spot for Ladd. The twitchy, speedy, slot wide receiver. Quentin Johnson could also get good volume, of course. Keenan Allen, of course. I'm not going to discount that, or discredit that, I should say. Ladd McConkey here is my sneaky DFS lock of the week. I like him to score. I like him to do well. I'm taking the Chargers to do well and win this football game. Give me LA. All right, these next 4 games are going to be a little bit quicker. I'm going to rattle them off a little bit more than I did the other games. That does not mean they are meaningless. Every game on this show to me, the Swank Tank, matters. It matters to a majority of people. Fantasy-wise, betting-wise, DFS-wise, draft capital-wise, momentum-wise, incentive-wise for the players. It matters a whole lot. So if you don't want to listen to these next few games, go ahead and skip forward. Okay. But then are you really an NFL fan? Are you? I'm not questioning it. It sounded like I just did. I won't question it. Go ahead and skip forward. But I advise you to stay tuned in because these games, whether they may not totally seem like it, still matter. Very much so in the grand scheme of things. The 6-8 Chiefs at the 2-12 Titans. Both these teams are eliminated, of course. Chiefs are minus 3.5 here with Minshew at the helm against speedy recovery to Mahomes, who tore his ACL and other ligaments, I believe, in his leg. He already had surgery. Speedy recovery to the face of the league. The Titans in this spot are, I don't want to say cooked because they've been cooked all year, but let's just say, let's reference this. The Titans haven't won at home all season. They have 2 wins. They have not won any game this year at home. I believe it's 0-7 or something of that matter. Haven't won a home game. The Titans are bottom 8 in passing defense and giving up the second most rushing touchdowns in the NFL. The Chiefs offensively, though, on the flip side, have been a shell of themselves, especially looking at last year. Obviously, in the spot, no Mahomes. It's a big deal. Even with Mahomes, no running game. Offensive line has been really, really injured. Have had to shuffle a lot of guys around. It's been bad. Kelsey hasn't had the volume. Mahomes, accuracy-wise, wasn't quite up to par. A lot of issues offensively for the Kansas City Chiefs. Those issues still remain. They very much still remain. In the spot, though, I like Hunt in the run game to maybe find some success. Again, Titans' rushing defense has not been great this year whatsoever, giving up a lot of touchdowns in volume on the ground to opposing teams. Chiefs' defense has been very solid. They've given up the 5th fewest points in the NFL this season. That's why I'm taking the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs. I like low scoring overall. I'll take Kansas City. Offensively, I like the run game to get moving a bit. For the Titans overall, really hard to get a read on them any week just because of how poor they are on both sides of the football. They don't have their head coach of the future. They don't have a guy really mentoring Cam Ward. It's a disaster in Tennessee. Could Tennessee win this game? Sure. Why not? Why not? I don't think they will, but why not? I'm going to take the Chiefs to get it done, and we're just going to keep on pushing forward. The 4-10 Bengals traveling to take on the 6-8 Dolphins. Both teams are eliminated. But fantasy-wise and DFS-wise, still very much in play here. Every game matters, people. This is the Swank Tank. Every game matters. The Dolphins' run defense has been pretty weak, but the Bengals' run offense has also been weak. Bengals' defense, as we all know, has been terrible. I can't overstate this. Terrible. Just got real up and personal with my mic there to overemphasize. Awful in all categories. The worst defense in the NFL. We touched earlier on one of the worst defenses in the NFL being the Commanders. This is the worst defense in the NFL. The Bengals. In all aspects. No Trey Hendrickson. It's horrid. It's awful. Enough of me barking, whatever you want to say, at the Bengals defense. We know how bad it is. Higgins may be back here from the concussion. Maybe not back here. Here's the deal. In complete honesty, the Cincinnati Bengals are a wreck. Last week, I didn't fully choose to believe that. I knew defensively they were. I thought offensively they were going to come out honestly firing. Ravens, I believe that game was in Cincinnati. I think so. Regardless, Ravens, an in-division opponent, fighting, to win the division still. Joe Burrow coming out saying he's not happy. Maybe there's some off-the-field stuff. I thought Burrow was going to come back and light him up. He did the exact opposite. Something is obviously affecting Joe Burrow. And I don't think it's just recency with the poor performance. I think it's just been a gradual tough year for Joe. The long injury that held him out, maybe some off-the-field issues we don't know about and that we're not going to dive into speculation-wise. His offensive line, he has not had a top 20 offensive line in his time in the NFL. A lot of things going on in Joe Burrow's head. And he's been very vocal about that. Something's going on over there in Cincinnati. It's bad. The season needs to end for the Bengals because now in each game they're playing, it feels like it's just getting worse and worse, culture-wise, player-wise, system-wise, all of it. All of it. The Bengals season needs to end. And I think they feel that as well. I think Joe Burrow feels that he wants this football season to end as well. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I think this game's going to be a stinker. It's Quinn Ewers, my boy, hook 'em horns, QB1 for the Dolphins. Let's go, Quinn. He could play well here. Why not? Great matchup for him in his first NFL start. Why not? A-Chain could get a good amount of volume, DFS-wise. Outside of that, I don't like this game whatsoever. I think it's a stinker. That's what I got for you. But give me the Dolphins to win this, and that's all I got there. This one will be quick as well. The 3-11 New York Jets traveling to take on the 4-10 New Orleans Saints. The Saints winning 2 straight against 2 NFC South foes as well. Defeating the Panthers last week, defeating the Bucs the week before. The Saints are making some noise, people, at 4-10. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Tyler Shows looked damn good. He's looked damn good. And the draft pick at the time I was a little hesitant on. Once I saw him, once he started playing, his second start, I could see the potential. I liked the show. From the second he was named starter, second he has been starting for the Saints. He's been very, very good for them, especially given the system, the weapons around him. Kamara's been out. Neal will be out in this game. Kamara probably may not play in this game. Offensive line, a lot of issues over there with some shuffling around. Really bad stuff going on in New Orleans. But Show has been the bright spot of this team. Olave's been good this year too. He's been healthy, knocking on wood. It's been the show. Welcome to the show. Saints, and like I mentioned, Saints have won 2 straight now. The Jets have not. They have given up 82 points in their past 2 games total. Obviously, quick math, that's over 40 a game on average. 41 on average. That is quite awful. That is awful. Jets defense also, they don't have an interception on the season. I'm going to reiterate this point because I don't know how many people know this. I think a good amount do. The Jets, through 14 NFL games, do not have an interception on the season. 0. Zilch. None. You have to try to not have an interception in 14 NFL games played. They have 0. The second closest team to them in terms of least interceptions in the 2025 season, I believe, is the 49ers with 5. And 5 is really bad. The Jets have 0. The Jets don't have an interception in 2025. Oh, and they've given up 41 points per game in their past 2 games. I'm speechless because there's no other words to say how bad this Jets team has been. Yeah, they sold the ship. I get it. Bye-bye, Quinnen Williams. Adios. See you, Sauce Gardner, which I actually think long-term is very, very, very good moves for them. Not even long-term. I think short-term right now, given all the draft capital they've got. Jets also. Bottom 8 in passing touchdowns allowed. Bottom 4 in rush yards allowed. Defensively have just been really atrocious. This would be a classic Jets spot to win for no reason and hurt their draft capital. But they're so damn bad, I don't even think they can do that this season. I'm going to take the Saints to win this football game. It's a good matchup for the Saints all in all. Estime is going to get a lot of volume with no Neal, probably no Kamara. It's going to be Audric Estime getting a good amount of the volume. He could be a good play DFS-wise or even fantasy-wise to maybe get some good volume. I think he will. Not saying he's going to pop off for 30 or even 20, but I would take a 12 from him. 60 yards and a tutty. Sure. I'm taking Noah to keep building their momentum in 2025. We'll take the Saints. Saints go marching. We keep marching. Let's keep going. We have the 6-8 Minnesota Vikings traveling to take on the 2-12 New York Giants. We got Dart versus P48 in this game. Giants coming off a tough loss versus the Commanders and the Vikings. Coming off a big upset W in Dallas. P48 and company went into Dallas to end the Cowboys season, essentially. Here's the deal. Off the rip, I'm taking the Giants to win this game. And This is a pure vibes pick. I'd say every week. I don't usually do these, but there's like one a week I do. This is a pure vibes pick because Giants are seemingly just playing for draft capital at this point. Kind of the Vikings too, but Giants definitely are. Dart keeps getting injured, dinged up, going into the tent. The defense has been really bad, giving up 5.6 yards per carry, which is worst in the NFL. Giants have given up the 10th most passing yards in the NFL. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. Dart keeps getting dinged up. It's just a circus over there. They don't have their head coach at the helm. No neighbors, no Scatterbo. You know the story. You get it. The Giants are a disaster. And on the flip side, this is a good spot for Aaron Jones. This is a good spot for Jordan Mason. They split carries. This is a good spot for both of them. Maybe you can find some good value there. So that's the note. Vikings secondary, for the Vikings defensive side of things, has been pretty solid, but they are vulnerable on the ground a bit. Also, Grenard and Metellus out for season now, placed on the IR. Here's the deal. I'm just feeling a classic Giants move to win this game because what reason do they have to win this game? Zero. None. It's not even like they're stopping the Vikings from making the playoffs. Vikings aren't eliminated, air quotes there, yet, but they theoretically are. It'd be a classic move by the Giants to win this game. Why not? Jefferson's been having a rough season, 18th in the NFL in receptions, 19th in yards, 86th in the NFL with only 2 touchdowns caught amongst wide receivers. Rough in terms of what we know him to be, rough in terms of people drafting him in the first round in fantasy. I'm just going to take the Giants, and that's going to be straight off vibes, and we're going to keep it moving. I'm taking the Giants. Here we go. Now we got some very, very meaningful and important games to get to. The 7-7 Bucs traveling to take on the 7-7 Panthers, an NFC South battle. NFC South up for grabs between these two teams. Who's it going to be? Let's get it. Let's get into this. Bucs defense just got exposed. Repeating for emphasis, exposed against the Falcons. The Panthers' lack of experience just got exposed. I'll repeat it again. Exposed. Both these teams coming off really, really bad losses. And this is the NFL. A great team can lose one week and win the next week easily. You see it every week, right? NFL, anything can happen. And you saw that with the Panthers and the Bucs. What you also saw was mediocrity. We also saw was exposures, like we kind of just touched on. And let's start here with the Bucs overall. Evans is back. Had 132 yards last week. He led the team. Big factor in this game. Big factor for the Bucs the rest of the season. But that run game has yet to find its stride again. Bucker Irving at the start of the season was phenomenal, fantastic. Going over 100 yards, being involved in the run passing game. He was great. Since his return, it's been a little dicey. Sean Tucker's been in the mix a bunch. It's been a 1-2 combo with Tucker and with Bucky Irving, both in the running and the passing game. It just hasn't really clicked in several weeks for the Buccaneers. Again, a lot of injuries. Baker himself getting injured. It's a big deal. But the Bucs offense hasn't clicked. For the Panthers on offense, Dowda last week only had 49 yards in their loss to the Saints. We touched on this 2 weeks ago. When the Panthers can't run the ball, they lose. They had one game this year where that was flipped, and that was a Rams game where they created, 4 turnovers, 5 turnovers? Whatever it was. Almost always this year, when the Panthers cannot run the ball, they will lose the football game. That's what we've seen from the Carolina Panthers. The Bucs have given up the 10th fewest rushing yards in the NFL. That makes me a little hesitant off the rip there for Carolina. And here's the main deal. Baker will get his. He always gets his, whether it's a big 30-yard run and clutch, whether it's a dime to Mike Evans, whatever it is. He will have those few plays you go, there's Baker. That's the Baker we know. That's the Baker we love. Right? He will be, that's guaranteed. Will Bryce Young have the same? Can Bryce Young get his? Is the question. Baker will get his. Can Bryce Young get his? It's going to come down to Bryce in this game. The Panthers want to run the football. I don't think they're going to be uber successful in doing that in this spot. I don't think they will. Last week, Kyle Pitts went off against the Bucs. Can the Panthers replicate that? I mean, they have, Tommy Tremble and Jatavion Sanders over there? Probably going to be a little bit harder to do with talents like that. Not a knock towards them. Just saying they don't got a versatile weapon like a Pitts is. Bucs secondary also giving up the second most passing yards in the NFL. That's where this comes in. Can Bryce get his against one of the worst secondaries in the NFL? And here's the deal. I'm going to say yes. Even though I want to give the benefit of the doubt to Baker and company, right? Much more experience in the clutch, especially, even just given this year alone. Todd Bowles been around the block several times. Experience usually outweighs a lot of things. I'm taking Bryce Young to step up on the spot. I really hope I'm right. I could very much be wrong. Bryce Young could very much make me wrong. Baker Mayfield could very much prove me wrong, even though I still think he gets his, right? I'm going to take Bryce Young because it's such a great matchup. Tat McMillan's a DFS lock for me. He should be targeted minimum 12 times this game. It should be Bryce and Tat show all day long, even if he's double covered. That's what it should be. That's what I'm expecting it to be. DFS lock, Tat McMillan, Bryce Young, great matchup for him. Panthers in their own building. I think they do it. Giving the Panthers to win this game, that does not mean the division is locked up at all. I'm not taking the Panthers to win the division at this exact moment. I'm still undecided in that aspect. But for this one game, I'm taking the Panthers to get it done in their own building off the back of Bryce Young. We'll see. That could very much age poorly, but we'll see. Tat, DFS lock, 100%. We keep going. The 10-4 the red-hot Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to take on the also scorching hot 12-2 AFC leading Denver Broncos. Massive game. I don't have to state that. You just know it. Massive game. Cool thing about this game, these are the two best rushing defenses in the NFL in terms of total yards going head-to-head. So Denver defense and Jacksonville defense are top two in total rush yards allowed this season. They don't allow you to run the ball whatsoever. And now they're going head-to-head in Mile High with the elevation. Jags secondary has given up 9 more passing touchdowns this season than Denver's has. That does not mean the Jags secondary is by any means weak. It's just weaker compared to Denver. Denver's defense is elite. It's top 5 all over, right? We all know this. This game will be ugly. This game will be gritty. And I think it's Denver all the way. You heard me correctly. I did not stutter. I think this game is Denver all the way. But I do think it's ugly and I do think it's gritty. Denver is 7-0 at home. They have not lost at Mile High this year. People are waiting for that, quote, fall-off game from Denver. They've, won 9 straight? What has it been? 8 straight, 9 straight, 10 straight? Whatever it's been. Maybe 10 straight. Or 11 straight. Whatever it is. They're on an insane winning streak. People are waiting for that, quote, fall-off game. This could be a matchup where that happens. Personally, I don't think so. And I'm confident in saying that. I think Sean Payton against first-year head coach Liam Cohen is a big deal. We obviously know what Sean Payton is capable of. Been around the league several years, over a decade, of course. Or is it 2 decades now at this point? Probably pretty close to it. That's something to note here. You got the veteran Sean Payton versus the first-year head coach Liam Cohen. At Mile High Stadium, haven't lost at home. I think this game is full of weird plays. I think this game is full of turnovers. I think this game all around is somewhat ugly and just somewhat whack. But give me Denver confidently here after that Jaguars' wicked performance from Trevor Lawrence. Credit to Trevor. That offense has been rolling. We've been needing to see that from the Jags. But I'm taking Denver, and I'm pretty comfortable in that. Weird game, ugly game, gritty game. Denver gets it done in their own building. We now shift over to Arizona. We have the 3-11 Cardinals hosting the 5-9 Atlanta Falcons. Falcons obviously coming off that big win against the Buccaneers. I expect Marvin Harrison to probably not play again. I expect Drake London to probably not play again as well. I don't really know with them. Been very much in and out, and as of late, more out than in. I mean, what is this game? What are we looking at here exactly? Cardinals defense over the past 6 games, giving up over 35 points per game still. They let Houston score 40 on them. This is a great DFS spot for the Falcons. All things considered. I know you don't want to take Kirk. Totally get it. But if Drake London plays, great spot for him. Kyle Pitts just went off last week. He needs one more touchdown to continue his trend of one more touchdown every year. Rookie year had, I believe, one. Then the next year, 2. The next year, 3. Next year, 4. This year, it would be his 5th season. He's supposed to get 5. If we're following trends here. Good spot for Pitts overall. Good spot for the Falcons offense as a whole. The Falcons just sliced and diced the Bucs on Thursday Night Football. Kirk very much showed he can still ball. Hand up. I'll admit it. I admitted last week that I thought Kirk was no longer a threat. He heard me. Maybe Kirk watches and listens to the show. Kirk, avid Swank Tank listener? Maybe so. He proved me wrong. Hand up. Proved me wrong. Kirk, if you're listening out there, I'm sorry. I personally want to tell you, I'm sorry. Hopefully you heard that. I bet he did, because he's probably watching. Never know. Both run defenses here are bottom 12 in yards allowed over the season. Falcons, here's a big note. I get overzealous. I get excited about what I've got here, and I just go straight into it. I got to take a step back. The Falcons have been excellent versus tight ends this year. Very, very solid. I believe top 5 against guarding tight ends. That is bad for McBride owners. You don't want to hear that, McBride owners. I get it. DFS-wise, I'm avoiding him. Fantasy-wise, you're never going to bench him because he's too damn good. Way too good. You're never going to bench him. But I wouldn't expect a 20-piece from McBride this week. If you got 11 from him, I'd be happy with that, given this matchup. The Cardinals on the flip side against tight ends has not been very good. Do what you will with that. Do what you will with that. Is that me alluding about Kyle Pitts? Definitely is. Can I confidently say Kyle Pitts will play well? No. Is it a good spot for him to? Is there potential for him to? Yes. There is. I'll take Atlanta on the road to win this game because why not? Why not? Give me the Falcons to get it done to move to 6-9. Big one here. Been really looking forward to discussing and breaking this game down. The 8-6 Steelers traveling to take on the 8-6 Detroit Lions. Massive game here, obviously. Does not need to be stated yet again. Both these secondaries have been very bad this season. Very, very bad. With the Lions being tied second worst for most passing touchdowns allowed. That secondary is really taking a step back from what we've seen in years prior. No, Arnold's been in and out. Reed's been in and out. Branch has been pretty right? It's been weak all season, and maybe that's something Rodgers can expose in this game. Let's see. The run defenses. Both run defenses have been average to below average. But the Gibbs effect is in play here. Swank, what are you talking about? Oh, wow, I just almost knocked over my mic. Swank, what are you talking about? What is the Gibbs effect? If you have not seen this, listen. This is a must-listen statement. Over his last 6 games, Gibbs has scored. I'm going to clear my throat here. 3 touchdowns, then 0. 3 touchdowns. Wow. Then 0. Then 3 touchdowns. Don't make me say it. Last week he scored 0. He scored 0. If we're following the Gibbs trend over the last 6 games, Jahmyr Gibbs is inbound for 3 touchdowns. Just a fun little thing to note. Does not necessarily mean at all that will happen. Just a fun thing to note. Why not? We're having fun with this. This is the Swank Tank. We have fun here. Come on. Does that mean 3 inbound? Personally, I think no. But you may believe it. Why not? Also, Lions have alternated 9 straight games. They have gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Is that 10 straight or 9 straight? Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. It's 10 straight. They've alternated 10 straight games, excuse me. Kind of wild. There's some trends we're looking at this game, people. Rodgers has been extremely accurate as of late. It's been a big focal point for them as to why they're winning some of these games. The defense has stepped up in times of need. They crushed Miami in the cold weather. They were able to get to Baltimore when needed. Metcalf played well in that game against Baltimore. They've been clicking offensively more than they have over the past 2.5 months, right? The start of the year, they were clicking through weeks 1 through 4. Really took a big break in terms of production offensively. As of late, has been much, much better. Been much, much better as of late. And it starts with Rodgers being very accurate. I like this game to be pretty high scoring, especially for the Lions. And although I think the Steelers very much still win the AFC North, I think they fall in Detroit. I'm going to take the Lions. Great spot for Amon-Ra. Great spot for Jameson Williams. I think Goff also in a very good spot here. Detroit in their own building is a different beast. You saw what they were able to do to Dallas just 2 weeks ago. They've alternated win-loss. Gibbs. I'm not super high on Gibbs. I mean, Gibbs is one of the best players in the league. I'm not super high on Gibbs saying like it's a lock. I do like Goff this week a lot. I think it's a great spot for him in his own building to get a win. And I think Detroit does it. Give me the Lions to get the dub, and we keep pushing forward. We have the 2-12 Raiders taking on the 9-5 Houston Texans in Houston. Texans. We're keeping this one straight, simple. I will be at this football game, ladies and gentlemen. You will see content of me from there. Texans. Can't overstate it. Worst running offense in the league, the Raiders. The Raiders have the worst running offense in the league. They have the fewest rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, both. The fewest in the NFL. Versus the defense that is top 5 in the league against the run. Just horrible matchup. Nightmare situation for the Raiders. Week in and week out, it seems. Because they're the Raiders after all. Geno could be back here. That's another nightmare situation. You go up against the Texans defense? Oh, no. Geno's back? Oh, no. Oh, we're paying him $40 million a year? Oh, no. Nightmare. I mean, that's a guaranteed 2 interceptions for that Texans defense. Stingley, Lassiter, Bullock. All 3 of them have over 4 or more interceptions this year. Please, it's the first time in franchise history for the Texans. Last week, we talked about Houston starting to get comfortable offensively. They did that. They put up 40. Stroud had one of his best games of the season. And what he's been doing as of late, he's not, throwing the ball 70 yards downfield, making these big-time plays that you saw a lot of his rookie year. What he's doing is he's taking care of the football, and he's taking what the defense is giving him. 10 yards, 12 yards, 6 yards, using his legs a little bit more. 4-yard run, 5-yard run, slant route for 5 yards. He's taking what they're giving him, and he's putting up good numbers, and he's being efficient, effective, and playing clean football. That's all you want. As a Texans fan, that's all you want to see from him, because that defense will lead you potentially to a Super Bowl. That's how good that defense is. Texans are minus 14.5 here. It's a little rich for my taste, even me being at this game, even given the matchup. 14.5 in the NFL is always hard to take. I'm not taking that. But the Texans should control this game from the start, just like last week. I'm very comfortable and confident in taking them to win. I will take them to win comfortably. Give me Houston to keep things rolling, keep staying hot, and I believe win their now 7th straight game if they get it done on Sunday. Give me Houston. We now move into Sunday night football. The 11-3 New England Patriots traveling to take on the 7-7 Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. I'm not going to keep stating huge game, massive game. Oh my gosh. This one has an absurd impact for the AFC East, for the AFC altogether, for the AFC North, all of it. Lamar, all of it. And I've been giving a lot of stats for you. We're going very in-depth and analytical into a lot of these games. I'm not going to go as in-depth and analytically wise. I'm jibber-jabbering. What I'm trying to say is I'm not going to throw a bunch of numbers in your face in this game. I'm just going to tell you this straight up. Patriots. I'm not picking the Patriots because of last week's, crumble and they're going to bounce back. I'm not picking them based off narrative. I'm picking them based off in every single aspect of the better team. They have the better quarterback in 2025, believe it or not. Lamar Jackson versus Drake May. New England's got the better quarterback in 2025. All around, they're just the better football team. It's a tough environment. Don't get me wrong. It's a playoff environment for Baltimore back against the wall. But Lamar has not been the same Lamar that we are used to, that we expect to see from him in 2025. And right now, the Patriots are, on all aspects, even after the loss, playing better in every single front. The Pats' run defense is still very much elite. They got exposed last week against James Cook. I get that. Very much exposed. It's still a very good unit. I feel like it was more of a one-off than it was a panic button in terms of the running defense for New England. I think it's all in Lamar in the spot, given that. Patriots' run defense is still elite. Derrick Henry's going to have some trouble running the football. It's all on Lamar. It's all on him finding his tight ends he loves to use, getting Zay Flowers involved early, letting him use his speed in space. If any other year you tell me it's all on Lamar, I would feel pretty confident in saying, okay, sure, I'll take Baltimore to get it done. Not in 2025. Lamar hasn't had more than 2 touchdowns in a game since October 30th. I believe it's been 5 games. The last 5 games has not had more than 2 touchdowns in a game. Or is it 6 games? It's either 5 or 6 games. He hasn't had more than 2 touchdowns. He has 2 rushing touchdowns on the entire season. It looks like he's just lacking a little bit of explosiveness, lacking a little bit of swagger, honestly. He's got aura. Let's be real. Lamar Jackson has aura. Right now, he really doesn't. Maybe this is where that turns. It could. Personally, on my show, I don't think that's where this turns. I really don't. And he's played some really bad defenses. They played the Bengals twice, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Browns. It's been a pretty much cakewalk for Lamar and company, and they have not capitalized on that, all things considered. I think the Ravens as a team lack confidence and lack a certain edge that we're used to them having. I think New England has that edge and has that confidence even after the loss. New England gets the upset here. I have no idea how they're not favored. I don't know how they're +3 on the road. I'm taking New England to win. That obviously means I'm taking them to cover, and I'm confident in this pick. Very. Give me Drake May to get the upset, air quote. Give me the Ravens to fall, and give me the damn New England Patriots to try to seal up the AFC East and keep things going. Give me New England. With that intensity, we move into the last game of the slate. Monday Night Football. Huge one. The 49ers, the 10-4 49ers traveling to take on the 8-6 Indianapolis Colts. 49ers on the road or -6 here. The Colts have lost 4 straight. In those 4 games, they have not scored more than 20 points in any of them. They've scored 20 in one. I believe it was against the Chiefs. And outside of that, they haven't scored more than 20 in their 4-game losing streak. Jonathan Taylor has struggled in that 4-game losing streak. 49ers on the flip side have won 4 straight. They've had a cakewalk. They played like the Cardinals and all these terrible, the Browns, East Titans. I mean, they've had a blessing of a 4-week stretch to get comfortable, given all their injuries. And they have. They have capitalized on that. Whereas we just touched on the Ravens, did not. They did not. Similar situations, injury-wise, cakewalk schedule-wise, 2 different outcomes. The 49ers have capitalized on that. Now have a very tough game on the road on Monday Night Football. The Colts' rushing defense has been solid overall this season. Been pretty solid. But their secondary has been very, very poor. 3rd most passing yards given up in the NFL this season. Sauce Gardner is still out. I mean, they're dinged up back there. And that's obviously a main point of emphasis in this game. Brock Purdy's been dialed up over the past few weeks. Has had a few games to get that momentum back. He's been feeling good. He's been looking good out there. I'll just say it. Pause? Not really a pause there. Brock Purdy, I think it's a great spot for him to succeed. Given what's on paper, given from what I've seen from him over the past month. I like Purdy in the spot a lot. 49ers run defense has been top 10 this season, which worries me for Jonathan Taylor's volume that the Colts want to give him. Not only what he will get, what the Colts want him to get, right? It worries me because it's another rushing defense that's very good that Jonathan Taylor and the Colts have to go up against. They're wanting to go up against a rushing defense that's not nearly as good. Not happening. Sorry, Colts fans. Hate to tell you. Here's the deal. I think this is a dagger for the Colts. I'm going to take the 49ers to win this game. I think this is the dagger for the Colts, even with Rivers playing relatively solid last week, doing what he needed to do. Give me Purdy to silence the haters from earlier this year. I kept the receipts. I kept the receipts. Trust me, I did not forget the people saying, Mac Jones should be the starter of this team. Mac Jones should be the future leader of this team. I remember it. Brock Purdy does too. And I think he shows you that on Monday Night Football in this spot. If I'm doing FanDuel, he will be my MVP. I think Purdy has a really great week. I think the 49ers get it done. Basically dagger the Colts from out of playoff contention. Pretty close to it at least. I think the Niners keep things rolling and stay very much in the mix to win the NFC West, potentially. Give me the Niners. And that wraps up our Week 16 preview, predictions, and analysis. But one last thing to touch on. We have our Swank Banks. If you are new here, Swank Banks is my 6 favorite bets of every NFL slate. We are 46 and 44 on the season, above 500. If we are betting and we're above 500, you will always see the smile on my face. With my new short haircut, you will always see the smile on my face. We went 3-3 in Week 15. Okay. 46 and 44 on the season. Swank Banks, 6 favorite bets. Let's do it. My Swank Tank. In my Swank Banks is my favorite bet of those 6. That has moved to 9-6 record-wise on the year. So my favorite bet of the whole slates, all the slates, I'm 9-6 on. Wonderful. My favorite bet of this weekend, Patriots money line. Just believe. Drake May, Drake Mill. I messed it up. Dang it. Drake May, Drake Will. Patriots money line is my favorite bet of the week. I can't believe they're not favored in this game. New England. Money line. Give it to me. Number 2, Eagles minus 6.5. Are you kidding me? It's not even 7? 6.5. Yeah, we take that. Jets Saints under 40.5. Injuries for the Saints. Ugly game. Give me under 40.5. Feel good about that one. Broncos money line against the Jags at Mile High. Number 4. Number 5, Chargers money line. Little hesitant on this one, but I like McConkey. He's a DFS lock. I like Herbert to succeed here. I like the Chargers to try to keep things very much in the mix and alive in the AFC. Give me the Chargers. Number 6, Steelers Lions over 52. I think it's a score fest, especially in the Lions front. Those are my 6 bets, and that is the episode. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end for tuning in. Episode 29, what an episode it was. Can't wait to hear how you guys react to this one. A lot of good content coming out. YouTube, Spotify, or YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all over. If you're not already, tune in and tap in on all the socials at the Swank Tank. Again, if you've made it all the way, I very much appreciate you. Leave some comments, leave some reviews, leave some likes. Just interact because I love to respond to you all. Thank you very much. We will see you on Monday. Good luck this week to your team. Good luck this week in fantasy. Not that you need it, but just in case you do. Good luck to you. We will see you next Monday. Have a good one.